So while it seems like everyone is moving into Nashville, there are still people moving out, and today we're going to talk about the top 7 reasons that people are moving out of Nashville. If this is your first time visiting my channel, my name is Jennifer Gramling and I'm a real estate agent here in the Nashville and surrounding area. I just put out weekly videos trying to help you get more familiar with Nashville. If you're thinking about moving here or relocating, this is going to be a great channel for you. So be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be the first to see these videos as they're coming out. And as always, if you have any questions at all about moving here or relocating or just about Nashville in general, be sure to reach out to me. You can find my contact information right here, and you can also find it in the comments, so be sure to go ahead and reach out. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into those top 7 reasons people are moving out of Nashville. Okay, so the number 1 reason that people are moving out of Nashville is the cost of housing. So I'm sure you saw this one coming. As many of you know, if you follow the real estate market at all here in Nashville, our real estate has gone up just in the last year, in some places 30% or more. And that's just in the last year. So it's definitely put a burden on the cost to live here. And while we do have lower property taxes and no state income tax, the cost for the home itself has definitely gone up quite a bit. And that doesn't even touch rents. So while I don't deal with a lot of rentals, I do see the conversation happening a lot in so many groups about rents going up exponentially right now. And that's just pricing people out of their current living situation and putting them further out of the city. So for some, especially if they have a specific place that they want to live and that's now out of reach for them, this may push them to consider a new city or a new town. And obviously not everyone has unlimited budgets, and many have a standard of living that they're hoping for. And if circumstances aren't quite right anymore, they may want to move on. And who can blame them? So that cost of housing really can affect how many people are staying here and how many people are leaving. Okay, the number 2 reason people are leaving would be for a job. Now, according to the Wall Street Journal and Moody Analytics, Nashville has the 2nd hottest job market in the country behind Austin. This study measured 5 factors: unemployment rate, labor force participation rate, job growth, labor force growth, and wage growth. And now that being said, wages here are going to be lower for some. So according to this article, the average income of a Nashville resident is $27,798 per year, with the national average being $28,555. So almost right on par with the rest of the country, but a little bit lower. And the median household income is $46,758, with the national average being a bit higher at $53,482. Now this is a difference that can be a little bit more apparent in different industries. And if someone gets a job opportunity and go to another similar city and make more money with a lower cost of housing, it may make sense to go ahead and do that. But even with our job market being strong, what I do find a lot of also is that many people are moving here have a newfound freedom after COVID to work wherever they like, yet maintaining some of those out-of-state wages that they were making in California and Washington. But with the housing costs to them being comparatively quite low, they're really coming out on top. But there will always be job opportunities out of state and many people's professional careers that will take them away from where they are living. And that's just a fact of life. And coupled with some of these other reasons that they may consider unfavorable, it might just be enough to tip the scales and have them make that move. Okay, so the number 3 reason that people would be leaving would be the changing way of life here in Nashville. So Nashville is not so small town anymore. Not only have people who have grown up here their whole life seen a change in Nashville and the surrounding areas, it may not always be totally welcome. Also, people who moved in for that small town way of life and have seen it grow up may feel the same with people moving in from all over. I heard the expression once that people like to move in and close the door behind them, and I love that so much. I think that people get the idea that it is only their part of the world or their town that is growing like crazy and is unrecognizable as to where it was 20 years ago. And I hear it all the time here. But I hate to break it to everyone that this is a conversation that's being had all over the country and probably in almost every city. It was a conversation in Denver, it's a conversation in East Tennessee, in my once very small hometown, now grown up to those who are from there. And I've even heard some of my clients say this about Long Island. So change is inevitable and almost all towns are growing. So there are still tons of great places to live with small town rural feel in and around Nashville. So those places do still exist, but numbers are increasing for sure. But the people are great. And again, you can find some great small towns to move to without all the hustle and bustle. But some people do feel that it's growing up way too fast and way too much, and want to move on to a smaller city that hasn't boomed as much. And so they may just go ahead and do that. But feel free to reach out to me for suggestions for the best small towns, best small town feel. If you want to get away and you don't want to be in all that hustle and bustle of downtown Nashville or some of these suburbs that are just kind of bursting at the seams, there are other options out there. Okay, the number 4 reason people are moving out of Nashville would be allergies. So Tennessee and Nashville in general is said to be one of the top places where people suffer from allergies, probably top 30 to 50 out of the nation. So due to our mix of weather patterns, pollen producing trees and plants, topography, and other factors, if you're allergic to what we have here, you might be in trouble. Obviously, this is going to depend on the specific person and possibly even the time of your life, since seasonal allergies can change over time. So growing up here, my mom suffered miserably from allergies and had to have weekly shots. We moved to Colorado and she was so much better. But me, I am the reverse. So I had terrible allergies in Colorado, but since what grows or what doesn't grow there is opposite of here, I'm perfectly great here. So if you suffer from seasonal allergies, this might be a good topic to research before coming here and finding out you're miserable. And for some dealing with that here, that may be enough to push them out the door to less greener pastures. Okay, the number 5 reason people would be moving out of Nashville would be retirement. So this one is kind of obvious. While we have people retiring to Tennessee, especially those following their children who are moving here, I see that actually an awful lot. We also have some people who have dreamt their whole life of moving away to the beach, to the mountains, possibly to be closer to their own children and grandchildren as they get older and seeing those kids and grandkids grow up, and who can blame them? If you had been dreaming of a beach life for the remainder of your years, no one would blame you. I imagine there are many beautiful and fun places calling to people to relax and enjoy some of the best years of their life. So while it's a dream for many to retire here, this is the chance for many to make the most of what they have been working their whole life for in another place. And so we do see some of that. People going to live out those dreams in another place and just live life to the fullest, enjoying everything that they have worked so hard for. All right, the number 6 reason people are moving out of Nashville would be the weather. So if you're like many, you'd want to move to Colorado to have those 300 days of sunshine, and much like California and some other locations, it's bright and sunshiny all the time. But as I discovered after moving there, that can sometimes get to be a bit much, and you miss those beautiful rainy days and all that it brings with it. Well, you don't have as much sunshine here, although we do have quite a bit of sunshine. We do have gloomy days as well, and especially in the winter time. You will have those days with rain and cloud cover, which I happen to love, but some do not. So this is one of the reasons I actually miss this part of the country so much when I was gone, but very likely because this was home and that's what the rain feels like to me. It feels homey. But for others who grew up in those more desert locations in Arizona, Colorado, or California, the rainy days might make you more depressed. And some decide they don't love it. But the beautiful thing about the rain and the humidity here is that it makes for the most electric green landscapes, beautiful trees, grass, and lakes, things I really missed out west. But if you're the opposite and you're missing those dry, sunny days, this might not feel like home to you. And hey, when you get homesick, sometimes you go home. I did. Number 7 in my list of top reasons people are leaving Nashville is that they are looking for new adventures. So hey, let's face it, sometimes you've lived somewhere long enough, you may just want a new adventure or a change of pace. Living in one place is great for some long term, but for others, they thrive on adventures, exploring, and taking in and experiencing the rest of the world. So vacationing might cure that bug for some, but for others, it might be the thrill of living somewhere they've always wanted to try or get to experience daily activities that you can't do here. Maybe they want to learn to surf, or they want to hike 14ers every weekend, which we don't have here. And so they're moving on to experience all of those things that they can't get here in Nashville. And while the city has so much to offer, for some, that draw to another adventure will be what makes them move on to a different place. And for many, that is true of them moving here, sight unseen to a state they've never been to just for the adventure, so I get it. So for these and many other reasons that maybe multiple of them add up to equal it's time to move on, they are heading out of state. But it is definitely being offset by the thousands that are moving in who are drawn to all that Nashville has to offer. For me, I love it here. I won't be moving on anytime soon. And if you're in that place of wanting to be here as well, be sure to reach out to me. Again, my name is Jennifer Gramling, and I'm a real estate agent here in the Nashville and surrounding area. I'm happy to help you with any and all of your relocating questions or just any questions about Nashville in general. You can reach me by email, call me, or text me. I'd be happy to help out. Thanks so much, and I'll see you on the next video.